Hello and welcome to another Division video. Don't look like this, you prick. Hello and welcome to another Division video. In this video I will present you a guide how you can set up your decent Firecrest build. Yes, I got a comment on one of my videos that the Firecrest build isn't that strong as it was before, especially the airburst, and yet that's absolutely true. And of course I wanted to test it out. I just finished the legendary mission here on Times Square with this Firecrest build. And yeah, now I will present you what build I was using here, and I will talk what options do you have to run this build. So as usual, if this video is helpful for you or you enjoy it or whatever, then don't forget to give this video a like. I do really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if you will see other builds, guides from missions, etc, etc. Just let me know. I answer all of my comments, and yeah, of course subscribe if you haven't done it already. So don't waste any more time and let's go right into this nice little build. And as you see, of course the weapon has to be red, that it suits to your Firecrest gear. No, just joking, of course, but it looks nice, a really nice solid red here on my weapon. So you see the stats, and yeah, the first thing you might say is that the skill power is not that high. That's true, absolutely. I will talk about this later. Yeah, as my previous Tactician guide video, this is the first option, the first thing you have to think about too on this one here. So the thing you have to think about is which will be your healing resource on this build. You have the same options. If you will see the full details, then please check out my Tactician guide video, how you can set up your personal decent Tactician build, and there you will find all the detailed information about this. So just to sum it up, you have four. One is the weapon with predatory, second one is the backpack with relentless, the third one is the nimble holster, and the fourth one, more as an add-on, is the rehab mask. And yes, I decided here on this Firecrest build to go with my relentless backpack, as you see here, to get heal back from the damage dealt by my skills, and that works pretty nice. And that's one reason I don't have that high skill power on this build, because yeah, I lose the 15% from inventive. But the reason for this is my weapons too. So because I'm not running a conventional Tactician build, I run Firecrest, as you see. Just quickly delete these items I got. So yeah, the reason is because with a Firecrest build I do prefer to have a little bit more damage with my weapons. So as you see here, I do use 256 ones and not 204 weapons, just because I use them a little bit more with my Firecrest build, and that's the main reason. And yeah, I didn't have a weapon where I have predatory on my third slot at 256, and that's why I choose to go with a relentless backpack. So you, as I said, there is not one single right option to run a Firecrest build too, so you have different options here as well. And as I said, first thing you should think about is which will be your healing resource for this build. Especially if you run this solo, you mostly need 2 damage skills on this one too. So as you see, I do have competent, talented and destructive, just to deal a little bit more damage to the NPCs with destructive, but it would work with other talents as well. So you could choose ferocious on the third slot, you could choose predatory on the third slot. You have many options, and of course determined. I know I pronounce it again not right. I will watch the video later. Thanks again for the feedback. And you can run determined on the third slot as well on this one. For my secondary, I just switched to this one at the end to kill the boss, the weak point on the backpack, to have more crit chance. But for the rest of the mission I was using my hunting M44, the hunting version, just to deal a little bit more damage. And as you see, pretty nice roll, pretty high headshot damage, and I run this with harmful, competent and talented. Yeah, you have different options here as well. Harmful is pretty nice. You can force status effects on your enemies. It works on PvE and PvP as well, and you have the same options for talents as on your assault rifle. But yeah, of course, the same like the Tactician build, I usually have my AR equipped just because of the enemy armor damage on this one too. So these are the two main weapons I'm using, and yeah, it is a difference. This build you can use pretty well too in PvP. It works pretty well there too, but then I changed my weapons because yeah, the third one, Destructive, doesn't make any sense there. So I usually swap to this one, the Bullfrog, or the one here, Tactical ACR, the same one, but with intense, competent and responsive. It's really, really nice, as you see, and if they are on fire, I will show you after on the build, then you deal so much more damage. It's incredible. As you see, the damage is not that bad. I don't have a magazine now on this one like on this, so you have nearly 800 bullets RPM, and yeah, with this one I'll deal 15.2k damage. It's not that low, I would say, for just 3k firearms. And as you see, competent and responsive gets added, so if I use a skill, and usually all the time use skills with this one, then you have 10% more from competent, you have 10% more if they're closer than 10 meters, 20% more damage makes about 18 to 19k damage. Almost. That's pretty nice, I would say. Yeah, but let's go ahead with the build. So as you see, I told you already what backpack I'm using, so let's go this way round. The gloves I have here is a pretty nice roll, I would say. Electronics, of course, 9% skill haste, crit damage and assault rifle damage. Yeah, I usually run the assault rifle with this, so this is pretty nice. Crit damage is not that important. I would prefer to have crit chance or health on kill on this one. But as I said, all in all, it works pretty well, and I don't have a better pair at the moment, so I could reroll this one. They would be a little bit better, but I was too lazy. I'm honest to you. Yeah, that's the same one. I have to change this one and just change this roll to electronics. So these are the gloves and Firecrest, of course. The holster, nothing special here. I do have a Firecrest with pretty high electronics and skill haste. It's the best roll on this, I would say, major attribute for the holster. Let's go ahead to the knees. Knees, I'm running conventional knees with electronics, skill power and damage to elites. Especially nice, of course, the damage to elites, or a must-have, let's say it this way, for PvE content. And burn resistance is pretty nice as well. I would prefer to have for PvE bleed resistance or disrupt resistance, and yeah, blind death I think is almost the worst one, except increased kill XP. And for PvP I would rather have, I would choose the disrupt resistance here as a third. But as I said, the most important things for PvE, in my opinion, major skill power and minor damage to elites. So let's go ahead to the mask, and the mask, conventional Firecrest mask as well. Electronics roll a pretty low one, I have to roll this higher a little bit. Then skill power, and the third one, it's not the best one. I used this the last time for, okay, that's why I was not faster on this round. Now we have it. No, joking. And a minor attribute, burn resistance. And of course for PvE it's much better this one here, damage to elites. But for PvP, burn resistance on the minor attribute, it's pretty nice. But swap it out for PvE. So, and on the mask you do have other options as well. So the same option as on your Tactician build would be a rehab mask as another healing resource, as you see here. That would work as well. And the third option, in my opinion, would be this one here, Ferrous Oxygen Mask. Yeah, you deal with fire with your Firecrest build. You have flame grenades, you have a turret, you have sometimes, not seldom, a dispatch, because airbursts are pretty useless. But yeah, you can get on fire pretty fast, and that's nice to run and shoot again, although you're on fire. So these are the three options you have on the mask. Last piece of gear is the chest, and here the same like on my Tactician build, I prefer to have barrets just to deal a little bit more damage with my first skill. And yeah, if you place the turret then you have an extra damage with your weapon, I will say, and that's pretty nice to have. Major attribute, health, skill haste, and the minor it's scrap. Here I would prefer to have ammo capacity, because as I said, I use my weapon more often, as with my Tactician build. Yes, that's the things for my gear pieces, and you have to decide by yourself if you really will run 4-piece Firecrest. Just to go quickly over the talents here: 3 more grenades, fire grenades, pretty nice. The 2 pieces, of course, the main thing on this build. 50% turret range, that's really nice. 30% flame turret damage, really nice as well, and that's why I don't have that high skill power too, because the damage is really insane, I would say, on this one. And yeah, you have the talented on your weapon, so 20% more skill power, which is about 72, yeah. Then you have about 70, 60, 430,000, so pretty nice with talented. And the 4-piece 15% increased damage against burning targets adds to the one on the weapon here. Oh, I have the wrong mod, that's why it's not unlocked, so now it's right. And as you see, 15.2, then competent, destructive, this one for PV and the one for PvP here. Competent and responsive 20% and 15% extra from at burning targets. So this means 18.5 almost, and 15% on this too, so you have almost 20k base damage with a skill build. I think that's pretty nice. Yeah, of course toughness is pretty low, but it's a skill build, and your turret, if it's not disabled, is a really nice thing to handle. More than one NPC or rogues. Yes, that's it for the build, and of course for the chest piece you have different options as well here. If you run with a healer in your group, then definitely change this out to a vigorous. You can choose, I just got this one here, it's not that bad, not that good. Yeah, you can change this for Firecrest as well, of course, and just choose another option like the rehab mask probably, or the nimble holster or whatever. So the same options as with my Tactician build. If you will see this a little bit more in detail, it's almost the same like the Tactician build, then just check this video out there. For my mods on my gear I use, as you see, skill power and electronics mod, except one, which is skill power and firearms. And yeah, on this build I run skill haste mods, 2 of them. It's not the most important thing. The reason for this is just 2 things. So one thing, as you see, skill power is not that high, so my cooldown times are not that low as with my tech build. I don't have the weapon talent for increased cooldowns on my weapon, that's why I don't get my skills back that fast. And yeah, it happens sometimes that the turret, as you see here, gets destroyed pretty fast by the NPCs. It has just, let's say, just 400,000 health points, and it gets destroyed pretty fast. And that's the reason to have it just a little bit back, a little bit quicker than usual. And yeah, that's why I run here 2 mods on skill haste. But as I said, it's not that big of an issue. You can choose whatever you like. It's possible to run every gear mod into skill haste, would work too, but this is my preferred setup at the moment. So the most important thing, just to unlock the weapon talents, have 1 mod into firearms. And yes, that's for the gear and the mods and the weapon. And the weapon, of course, the same like the tech build. The mods doesn't matter that much, just use what you're comfortable with. So crit damage, crit chance, stability, and of course headshot damage for the sniper if you use a sniper. And as I said, I just swapped to this one here at the end to destroy the weak point from the boss. And the main reason is because of the crit hit chance. So in my opinion, you can destroy it faster if you crit more than with your AR. And yeah, he has no armor, so it doesn't make any sense to have enemy armor damage. And it's pretty nice, roll 2 here, so that's why I use this one. The damage, pretty nice too. And that's the main reason for this. So you have different options here as well. So let's go ahead to the abilities. As you see here, the previous run I did on this mission, I was using flame turret, of course. That's I think the most important part from a Firecrest build. And before I used airburst, but as I said, they're in this patch pretty useless. It doesn't matter PvE or PvP. They can be not that bad for crowd control, but yeah, you have other options. I think they are much better. And to deal a little bit more damage, I choose cluster. They are just pretty decent here too. And yeah, that's my main setup I run here. And at the end I changed, because you can't deal any damage on this boss here with a flame turret or seeker mine. So I just, to have a little control over him and that he gets the status effect from burning, I changed to this one here, the flashbang, and he is disabled for a couple seconds, and you can shoot the backpack in this time. Of course, better would be the shock grenades, but if you're out on shock grenades, just change to flashbang to kill him at the end on this mission. Especially if you're solo, the most important thing I think is a recover link as a signature skill. If you're in a group, then just choose what fits in the group. And these are the options for this one, in my opinion the best ones. So let's go ahead to the talents. Talents, as you see here, I used the crit save, I used strike back just for a little bit more survivability. My skills don't do that much damage as with my skill build, conventional one, so that's why I prefer on this one to have a little bit more survivability with my talents. A must for every Firecrest build, or for every build you use a fire turret, is this one here, Wildfire, to have the chance that the burn effect triggers to everyone else in a 10-meter radius, a 30% chance. And yeah, death by proxy. If you destroy on this part, you have some agents too, so they throw seekers. You have some healers with boxes, and if you can destroy a box of them or seekers, then you get 20% more damage, skill power I will say, and this is pretty nice to have. You have other options as well, of course. You could run this here too. Chain reaction, especially nice with the seeker mines, is an option as well. You could choose the one here, the tech support, to have a longer duration from a flame turret, but as I said, in my opinion it doesn't make that much sense, because the turret usually gets destroyed before it reaches its life experiency, so that's why this one here, in my opinion, doesn't make that much sense. Of course, if you use your weapon a little bit more, you can change to precision 2 to have an additional pulse as well. And the last thing, of course, if you run this in a group setup, then change or choose combat medic, and you can choose combat medic instead of strike back. I would stick on, because as I said, you don't have that much skill haste. I would change it for crit save or even for death by proxy. Yes, that's the thing about my talents. And the last thing I almost forgot, but I think it's self-explanatory, the prototype performance mods are of course turret damage mods. And just to show you this here, the turret, I think you saw it already, 17k damage, pretty nice. If I would go all out with inventive backpack and everything on skill power and a big Barrett's chest, I would have about 21k, I guess, almost, much more. But as I said, the range is not that high with pulse turret and seekers, so I use this mainly for crowd control, and the damage, you can trust me, it's pretty nice. And yeah, you can check out my run on Times Square as well. I will upload this too and put the link at the end of this video. So then, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was useful for you, and you can add some things for your Firecrest build as well. It's really nice to use, in my opinion, something else than all the other things. And yeah, just try it out for yourself and let me know how it works. And as I said, I do really appreciate for your likes on this video, the comments down below, and subscribe if you haven't done it already. So then, see you in the next one. Bye bye.